Hello everybody, this is Leslie of Silvermoon Creations and welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to do another flip through. I've gotten through a bunch more pages in our vampire composition notebook. So I wanted to share with you where I am in the process of finishing this. So if you are new here, thank you all for subscribing. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. I haven't been doing any videos with this because I wasn't getting as many views, so I figured really nobody was pretty interested in watching me work on the actual pages, so that's why I'm only doing flip through. So okay, so if you're new and you haven't watched any of my other videos, I do have a playlist for this series of videos. So this is page 1. This is just to catch anybody up to speed that may not have seen this. And basically what I'm doing is I'm doing the book by Bram Stoker, and I'm doing it from front cover to back cover with my interpretation of the story of Dracula. And then we have Vlad the Impaler, who the book was based off of. And then we have this pocket here that I created. And then we have chapter 1, which was from the book. And this was when he was leaving for his trip to meet Count Dracula. And then this is a picture of his beloved Mina that he would be carrying with him. And then this is our wonderful Jonathan Harker. And then I have what would be a ticket for him to start his journey. And then I just added this in there. And then we have a top hat. And then this is for him to say goodbye to Mina. And we have a calendar here. And then we have a ticket here. And I thought that was appropriate. And then here we have his first transition into Transylvania. And then I have like little things here. It says go straight ahead. And then I have a picture of a horse-drawn carriage, mountains and rivers, because that's what he would be basically seeing. And then this would be a bridge that he would have crossed over. And then this is a mountainous pass that he would have taken to get to his destination. And then this says, how blessed are some people whose lives have no fears, no dreads, to whom sleep is a blessing that comes nightly and brings nothing but sweet dreams. And then this is all backed with book pages from Dracula. And then we have, again, we have the nighttime carriage. This is the carriage that Dracula would have sent for Jonathan. And then I have this flip up with all this area here, plus in the back here. And then we have the book by Bram Stoker. And then I have this ribbon that looks like a haunted castle, so I put this here, and that holds these pages in. And then we have, again, another flip. And then I'm going to create a tag for here, but I need to put these so I know what I'm going to be working on. And then we have, I read that every known superstition in the world is gathered into the horseshoe of the Carpathians, as if it were the center of some sort of imaginative whirlpool. If so, my stay might be very interesting. Jonathan Harker. And that's a quote from from the book. So we have that. And then we have the castle page. And then this flips up. Again, I stuck a tag in here. And then this has Dracula coming down the stairs to meet his illustrious visitor. And then we have welcome to my house. Come freely, go safely, and leave something of the happiness you bring. And then I have a front door of a castle. And then I have these little kind of bookmarks here. And then I have this gentleman here who I'm kind of using as a placement for Jonathan Harker. And then this fits in here. And then we have a gentleman here that is supposed to be Dracula. And then I have judge not from appearances. And then we have this page. We have Dracula again. And then this is listen to them, the children of the night, what music they make. And then I have the wolves. And then again, I have a tag here, so I know to do something with the tag. This I liked, so I just left this plain. And the dark spots and stuff is actually Rit dye that I use from a spray bottle. So that's what all of this dye and stuff is from. And then we have this page, and this is Dracula introducing himself to Jonathan. I am Dracula, and I bid you welcome, Mr. Harker, to my house. Come in. The night air is chill, and you must need to eat and rest. And then I'm going to put something in here. I left that open as a pocket. And then we have this page. So I have a pocket here. And then this is the dining room scene. So I have two regal chairs. And then we have the table that was set. And then we have a goblet of blood. And here I have the blood is the life. And then here we have the documents and stuff that Jonathan Harker brought for Dracula to go over to buy the home in England. I'm trying to remember the name of it. Fairfax Abbey, I think it was called. Remember right? So like I said, we have a pocket here. And then we have these two blank pages. I just put paper and stuff on it. I added some ribbon and a castle. Again, we have a blank page here. And then we have a blood moon. And then the castle is a veritable prison, and I am a prisoner. So this is when Jonathan basically realizes that he can't leave. And then here is one of the female vampires that stalks him. And then I have a picture of a gentleman who is supposed to be Jonathan Harker. And then I have a picture of the castle. And that is, I think is, oh no, I did a little bit more. So I have a pocket here. This is open. I added a little bit of scroll work, paperwork from paper down here. And then we have this. This is supposed to be like a cellar area with the brickwork. And this is Dracula in his coffin. And then we have the female vampires that would be down in the basement as well. And then I have a couple of candles, and I have Wicked, and then I just put this place marker in here. And is that it? I think that might be it. Oh, no. And then I have a place here for something to go in. And then here we have the bats, and this is him turning into a bat, and it could be either way. It could be him going from bat to human or human to bat. And I just put this up on some foam that I had. And then I just put this in here. So we have an area for a piece of paper or a tag. And then I did this page, and I add some ribbon here. And I added two different types of paper. I thought that looked really nice. Again, I added some paper. And then I added a strip here. This actually this was ripped paper, so these were strips. So I used this red, and I thought it looked really good. And then we start going into the women. So now this is Mina. So Mina receives a letter from Jonathan, and this is the letter. And what I did was, now we're transitioning into prettier pages. So this is kind of what I think about when I think of Mina's stance in society in London. Like, she would be part of cotillion parties that her and Jonathan would have gone to. And then I just added some of this pretty trim here with a pretty paper and some flowers, and I made this into the pocket to hold the letter. And then we have a letter from Jonathan that is bloodstained, which, needless to say, Mina was horrified to receive. And then we have some pretty trims around the page. And then over here we have two portraits. We have one of Mina, and then we have the one of Jonathan. And then I have some flowers, and I have a candle as she's lighting a candle for his return. And then we have this page that we have paper on, and that is as far as I got. So now we're going to be going into where Mina's trying to figure out what has happened to Jonathan, and we're going to get into Lucy, and with Dracula coming over on the Demeter. So that is going to be the next area. And as you can see, my book is getting very chunky, and we don't have a whole lot of papers left. Enough. I think there should be enough for the story. I may have to condense a little bit of it, but so I wanted to share with you how far I've gotten. So I hope you enjoyed that, and if you did, please don't forget, I would love it if you would hit that like button, and also too, if you would subscribe to my channel. And if you're not aware, I do have a second channel. If you're into coloring books and coloring, anything to do with adult coloring, I do have a coloring channel specifically for coloring content, and that is Silver Moon's Coloring Studio. And that is where I will be putting anything that is color content created. And I decided to keep stuff separate. So that is it, everybody. So thank you all for joining me today for this quick flip through of our Vampire Chronicles. So I will see you all for the next video. Take care, everybody. Be well. Take care.